Blood Death Knight is known for being a very defensive deck, but I wanted to turn up the gas a bit with Selfless Sidekick, a 7 mana 6/6 that equips a random weapon from your deck. Now, Death Knight actually has some very impressive big weapons. First, they've got the Corrupted Ashbringer, which is a simple lifesteal weapon with 5 power, but they've also got Frostmourne, a 5/3 weapon with a death rattle that resummons anything this weapon killed. Now, that's pretty good value, but honestly, we just care about this being a 15 damage weapon more than anything else. All this damage pairs pretty nicely with the Blood Death Knight legendary Alexandros Mograine, which is a 7 mana 7/7 that deals 3 damage to the opponent at the end of every turn for the rest of the game, even if Mograine itself dies. We've also got another legendary, Deathbringer Sourfang, a 5 mana 3/5 taunt with a death rattle that returns it to your hand, and it costs health instead of mana now. So every turn we can play this 3/5, and that pressure really adds up when we're smacking people with weapons over and over again. And of course, as a Blood Death Knight, we do have a good amount of healing that can offset the damage from Sourfang, and even offset some of the damage we would take swinging weapons into minions.
The Lich King versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine. All will serve me in death.
No reason to keep any of this. I think Warlock is going to be pretty tough, though. But Cadaver's a nice draw. I think I probably hold the Cadaver with this hand.
These books are ruined.
Alright, well, I'm glad I held on to the Noxious Cadaver. And then next turn, I can coin out Sourfang. It's actually unhealthy, the amount of hatred I feel every time an Abyssal Curse is added to my hand.
My blood for the Lich King.
Heart Strike is pretty good. I am just gonna kill myself with this Sourfang and the curses. But the Corrupted Ashbringer does help. No Muncher's actually pretty nuts here. A Rafam, of course. God, I get so much healing out of this. Never mind.
Guess what dropped?
Eternity awaits. Embrace the gift of death.
Not a very good Frostmourne target, but I don't know. They've got the library. Don't really want to be taking too much damage from it. I do have a lot of healing in hand as well.
I'm 7 moves ahead.
What an obnoxious card. I would really like to push 11 damage here, but I don't really know if I can do that. Probably responsible to kill this. Oh, Blood Boil's nice to have. If I hit here, I go to 10. They would need to give me 3 curses for lethal. Break the Frostmourne so I can get the 6/6. I could regret this, but I've got a lot of healing. Oh, that Tamsin doesn't clear much. But if they have the second Grimoire, this could be really bad for me. Four Imps. Still mana for a Grimoire. And there it is. Alright, I do have Blood Boil here. Asphyxiate. Well, I'm always playing Blood Boil, so that's 5 mana. I have 4 left over. So Asphyxiate keeps my 6/1 alive. That's probably worth it. And I heal for 11 here. I think this is fine. Unfortunate I haven't really had the chance to play Mograine. This might be the turn for it, though. Looks like it is. This does 3 damage. Probably ought to play it. Maybe I could have just played Cadaver here. I don't know if it actually changed the math that much. They need to give me 3 curses still. Oh, they just might be able to. Although they've played double Grimoire, double touch. I think the opponent might just be dead here. Beautiful. Beautiful. That definitely feels good, winning as triple blood against a curse deck.
The Lich King versus the Lich King.
All will serve me in death. There can only be one
Love a body bagger.
king. I see you brought guests. The undefined is mine.
Renathal, so this is going to be a blood mirror. Why'd they run into my 1/3 instead of my Trog? I'm afraid I don't understand.
The time has come to dethrone our former master.
Very sad turn. But my opponent has also had a pretty sad game.
Who here can spell Zinjari? Anybody?
The deck definitely plays some big minions to asphyxiate. I'll just Blood Boil. It'll kill the school teacher every 2 turns. That's a pretty annoying pair of plays for the turn. Definitely not playing no Muncher, that's for sure. But equipping the weapon's not really that good here either. Maybe I'll just go Hematurge. Take another Soul Stealer, perhaps. I guess Heart Strike is like pretty okay this turn. We'll go Heart Strike. Might make it a little bit easier to set up for Mograine on 7. Which is really, really good in this matchup, I think.
Pick me!
That's annoyingly strong. Not really a worthwhile Corpse Explosion. Could have maybe just gone face and counted on playing Soul Stealer next turn, but I don't think that's something I should count on doing. Alright. Let's Mograine. Phew. Alright, pretty weak turn from the opponent.
The more you struggle, the better.
Grave Strength. Hard to imagine that being that good. I guess I just take a Glacial Advance. And we can munch the opponent's face, so why not? My hand is definitely pretty weak at the moment, but I've got a couple sidekicks in deck. I got a Kazakus still. That's annoying. Probably a Soul Stealer turn, especially if they attack my minion. And a Hematurge to go with it. Good draw, good draw. These are all very mediocre. I guess I want the Soulbreaker. It is damage in the long run. I'm glad I picked up the weapon. Attack into that so it can't value trade. I guess Tomb Guardians is pretty good here. Certainly better than anything else. Well, I don't know. Frost Strike's pretty good. Discover a Frost Rune card. There's some pretty good Frost Rune cards. I feel like the Tomb Guardians are good. But I don't know, maybe they get Blood Boiled. Not too bad though, since they have Reborn. Let's just go Tomb Guardians. Sure. What a bad draw. Seems like a good usage of my weapon. Wow. Alright, seems like a good Blood Boil. I can asphyxiate that if I need to. Then use my weapon to whack down the Hematurge. Excellent draw. Soul Stealer. I don't think I need to Soul Stealer this board. Alright. Umbral Geist. Wow. Frostmourne. Unfortunate. Do I want to asphyxiate here? If it was Frostmourne, I would obviously use hero power and then use Frostmourne to kill Gnome Muncher. Asphyxiate does like 10 damage, right? Because they don't get lifesteal. I'd even have to give them double lifesteal. Asphyxiate does so much damage here. Very strong patchwork. It didn't hit anything like super crucial, but yeah, that was for sure a bummer. Pretty bad draw.
All's well that sun wells.
That's a big heal. My opponent has so many minions in play, but it's really not a corpse explosion turn. If I just assume that all my damage goes face, I have 24, 29, plus a bunch of hero powers. Maybe it's time to start whacking. Also, something to note is with the 1-mana Glacial Advance, I can play a Corpse Explosion and Gnome Muncher in the same turn, so I can guarantee 5 out of Gnome Muncher, which is sometimes pretty hard to do.
Who here can spell Zinjari? Anybody? Pick me! Pick me!
That Icy Touch is pretty annoying. Probably a good enough Corpse Explosion. They're under a lot of pressure from this Frostmourne, plus the Mograine. I do still have Astalor in deck, still have Kazakus in deck. There's their Mograine. Well, I don't really have much of a play here. Much of a, like, choice in what I'm doing here. If that Mograine goes face, it could hurt a lot, but kind of hard to imagine they would have the damage to finish me off. Oh. That game was absolutely a Mograine diff. I got like 30 damage out of my Mograine. My opponent got like 6.
The Lich King versus the
Shaman.
King!
I am the slayer of kings and gods. All will serve me in death.
I kind of like all of these cards. Maybe Hematurge isn't that good without a 1-drop. Hey, there's my 1-drop. Give me my Hematurge.
Ah, I see you brought guests. The identity mine is mine.
I don't think Shaman does that well against Trog. They can chisel into it a couple times, maybe.
Our gift of the Arcane enlightens us.
just absolutely dominating the board here. I'm trogged out of my mind. Dark Transformation doesn't really do that well here. Could be nice to have a Corpse Explosion. I don't really need to draw cards, but drawing cards is pretty nice. I could draw anything, even a Corpse Explosion. It's probably gotta be Defrost. Alright. Don't mind trading the board off a little bit here, since any spell gives me 3 more minions. Dude, these Trogs are just silly. What a dumb card. I guess we can get this guy going. Not too worried about wasting a bunch of health on a Sour Fang against Shaman. Wow. What a bad Famished Fool. Could play the Gnome Muncher here, but I don't really need the healing. Let's take a nice little 5/5 Greater Golem. If I take Divine Shield, I'm a little worried about it getting devolved, I guess. Rush is probably just super good. Give your other minions +2/+2. I do have a lot of other minions at the moment. Probably don't really need more cards at this hand. Alright, doesn't look like they're gonna have a Primordial Wave at least. Blood Boil's really good. But I think the Greater Golem is just, like, disgusting here, isn't it? Is it not just disgusting? I guess Selfless Sidekick is really good as well. But I think this is kind of peak Golem. And I'm just going face. I've got a Selfless Sidekick. I've got an Astalor. Just hit him in the head. Farsight into Bracing Cold into Farsight into... a board freeze. Yes! I love that the meta has 3 classes that freeze my board.
Guess what dropped?
I don't think I care about the value. I think a weapon that does 15 damage is pretty freaking good. That card's annoying. Even if I Soul Stealer it or Corpse Explosion it or something, it still heals for at least 6. But it's a pretty damn good thing to steal with Frostmourne, so probably want to do that. Do I have lethal? If I asphyxiate it and then cadaver it, opponent heals for 6, they go to 20. If they don't clear my board, I would have lethal. So pretty good chance. Let's put some stuff in play. I need 4 mana for that. Let's go for Hematurge. I don't think the Death Strike is that useful here, but... Sniped my 5-2. With the snipe on the 5-2... probably still hit him in the head. So I had... What, they were 1 in 7 to hit the 5-2, and then if that failed, they were 1 in 8 to hit it? Not quite, because they could have sniped the other thing. It was pretty unlikely for them to snipe the 5-2, but it definitely wasn't outrageous, I guess. Also, I have Soul Stealer plus a weapon hit, so it's really hard for my opponent to not be dead here. I really doubt that's good enough. Oh wait, I can just munch them. Probably could have brute forced my way through it for lethal, but why not just munch?